Recovery operations for areas devastated by Typhoon Yolanda is on the way. Next will be rehabilitation and reconstruction. The National Economic Development Authority has been tasked to conduct an assessment of the damages and destruction left by Super Typhoon Yolanda. Now, what is the progress of this report and what are the costs? Will it require support from the country's development partners? And joining us tonight on NewsLife is Ms. Rosemarie Edillon, Assistant Director General of NEDA. Good evening, ma'am, and welcome to NewsLife.
Good evening.
Ma'am, what is the current progress of your assessment of the impact of Yolanda in Eastern Visayas?
Actually, we rely on the impact assessment of the NDREAM-C, and these are being validated as well by the officials of the DSWD underground and some also LG officials. And we're also relying on some satellite images with the help of our DOST officials.
Now, ma'am, based on the assessment, how much would it cost for the recovery or rehabilitation to address the most immediate concerns, and what are the priorities of recovery?
Yeah, the numbers is still very fluid. We will know firmer numbers by Friday, by tomorrow actually. But the priority that we see is one, in terms of the settlement. There will be temporary settlement and there will be a permanent settlement. But before that, we have to declare the no-build zone. Which ones will this be? And then next, we need to restore critical infrastructure. We're talking about the hospitals, the schools, water and sanitation, and then power, and then restore the livelihood of people. So we're talking about emergency employment. We're also discussing about ways on how to assist enterprises. And then, yeah, that's it.
Ma'am, do you have an initial figure or a ballpark figure on how much it would cost for the rehabilitation and reconstruction of several infrastructures like public school buildings, hospitals, and other infrastructures? With
respect to the hospitals, for instance, what we did was to actually the Department of Health was to prioritize which ones are the most critical ones. So we're talking about the rural health units and the certain specialty hospitals to treat the diseases that would likely crop up. And this one actually will not, the cost, our initial estimate, will not reach $1 billion. For the Department of Education, they have already identified those classrooms, those schools that are totally damaged and partially damaged, and the initial cost would run to about $7 billion.
On the whole, from start to finish, is there a ballpark figure, ma'am? In totality, how much we need for the rehabilitation?
It's like I said, it's still very fluid. I would rather not say any firm figure. It will be in the hundreds billion. Yeah.
Will we need foreign assistance for this, or do we have the money?
This is actually a multi-year reconstruction plan, and for the initial year and probably until the first year, we will have the wherewithal to actually fund this. But if we want to speed things up, then it's always good to have funds available right away.
Now, ma'am, what is the recovery strategy now for agriculture, given the fact that Eastern Visayas is a major coconut producing area and many of our coconut farmers lost their plantations?
Yeah, first the Department of Agriculture is proposing actually several packages. For the coconut farms, the first thing that needs to be done is the clearing, the cleaning to take away those fallen coconut trees. And then they will be providing assistance as well for some for the replanting, some for trees that can still be rehabilitated. And then there will be intercropping. So there will be extension services provided to the farmers and to teach them, to train them on how to grow other crops.
Now, ma'am, which agencies now are involved in the rehabilitation and the reconstruction of this whole plan that NEDA is doing right now?
Yeah, it's practically all of government. So you have the infrastructure agencies, the DPWH, the LUA, the Ports Authority, DOTC, of course, and then for social services, you have the DSWD, the DOH, the DepEd, then of course there's the DOLE for the livelihood assistance. The DTI is also there. The NEDA, of course, is there, and then the power sector is also there. Of course, the DBM for the financing, and the DOF as well.
Ma'am, in terms of infrastructure spending, will this undergo bidding? Are we going to look at private contractors for the reconstruction?
Yeah, actually the method now, the mechanism now of the DPWH is to engage private contractors. Since we are still under a state of calamity, that area is still under a state of calamity, timing is really of the essence. And we have enough laws actually to ensure that this will we should also include the safeguards there. But as of now, the projects will not go through bidding. They will be through negotiated procurement. But like I said, the DPWH already has a list of, shall we say, good contractors with good records, and we will go by this. We will also put in place a very good monitoring and evaluation system to make sure that the accountabilities are still there.
Ma'am, this Friday you will be presenting again the plan. What kind of refinements are being undertaken right now?
We're looking at coming up with more robust numbers with respect to the number of beneficiaries. So for instance, we need to know just how many families are really located in the no-build zones, because these ones will be given as a different set of package as against the ones where their houses are totally damaged or partially damaged, but the location of the house is not in the no-build zone. So these are the numbers for which it really amounts to a lot of money. So we need to come up with firmer figures on this.
Ma'am, do we have a realistic timeline right now on when we can start implementing the plan?
Actually, the DPWH has already started constructing, or at least doing the land preparation for the construction of the bunk houses to serve as temporary settlement for those families that will have to be relocated. So these are the ones that are living in the no-build zone. So that is already underway. And some have already started to like the DSWD and the DOLE is actually ready to implement its they're already implementing their cash for work program as well.
Now, ma'am, if funding from the national government will not be sufficient, how much support are we expecting from foreign donors?
Oh, actually, there are lots of manifestations, lots of offers of help, and that's the reason why. And they're actually very impatient to find out what we need and how much we need. So this tomorrow we'll be meeting with the core group of donors and lay out to them the plan, the recovery plan, and just so they have an idea of how we plan to proceed with this. And then there's going to be a pledging session middle of December, some sort of a pledging session, and we are actually confident that we will get a lot of support from the international community.
And finally, ma'am, looking at the economy as a whole, will this reconstruction and rehabilitation be a plus for our economy?
Yes, actually. It really depends on how well we manage this. Because as you know, everything that every money you spend actually goes to the GDP. And if we're able to revive the economy of Central Visayas, Eastern Visayas and Central Visayas, then there's going to be a multiplier effect. And that's the reason why we want to already put in place the projects to restore the livelihood and economic activity. We have to make markets work again, and that will be a big plus again to our economy as a whole.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much for joining us here tonight at NewsLive. That was Ms. Rosemarie Edillon, Assistant Director General of the National Economic Development Authority. Thank you, ma'am.